Welcome to Great Greys, your one-stop shop to finding winners across Australia from the world of greyhound racing. Host David Shortte is joined by Hall of Famer Neil Brown, Jason Campbell to look at Queensland and Tasmanian chasing, Sean Matheson looking at South Australian chasing, New South Wales expert Simon Orchard, and the Shane Train Williams rounds it out with his key plays and kennel mail in WA. Now, over to the team for this week's edition of Great Greys.
Good morning and welcome along to Great Greys on this Thursday, the 8th of May. It's 6 minutes after 10. David Shortte with you. Hope you're travelling particularly well. Got a busy program today. The Shane Train Williams is in transit off to Bali, so no train for today's program. I will pass on his Thursday night mail for Mandurah, though, a little bit later into the program. But all of the other regulars will be with us. Jace Campbell will kick off proceedings. We'll be then catching up with Sean Matheson, who's come up the batting order. We'll then catch up with Neil Brown. Last time for a few weeks, Brownie's off for a well-earned vacation. Ethan Christian will be joining us for a few weeks while Brownie's off travelling the globe. And, of course, we'll then round it out with a chat to our man Simon Orchard to talk all things New South Wales greyhound racing. But let's rip straight into it. Very, very talented and flexible operator, our man Jason Campbell. He comes out to face the new ball for today's program. Welcome to you, JC.
Yeah, some intro that from you, Shorty. Never been described as flexible in my time, but I'll definitely take it on board. Maybe a bout in gymnastics is one for my future.
I can just see you getting off the old pommel horse and doing some good work. So we'll look forward to seeing some vision of that heading forward, JC. There's plenty going on. Obviously, Queensland chasing with the new venue in play. And we've got meetings from both or two of the circuits there today. The earlier kickoff, which is only 3 minutes away, is on the Q1 Lakeside, and the standard Thursday night Albion Park meeting will be run on the Q2 Parkland circuit from 4:39 this afternoon. What have you made of the new facility there at the Q?
Yeah, the facility's been amazing. The Q1 track, it's been up and running now for the best part of a month. We've had probably a dozen race meetings there. All looks to be pretty good feedback from a perspective of racing and training-wise. A lot of the dogs for the first time up in Queensland, because there wasn't a one-turn track up there, I guess similar to when Mandurah was out of play over in WA. They were a little bit unfamiliar to it, but they're starting to get used to it now, and it's obviously a very exciting day. It's a historic day up in Queensland with the Q2 two-turn track opening up for the first time under race conditions. We had the best part of 20 trials there on Monday night. It's an interesting style of track. Judging early days, I would say it's got to play very similar to the likes of Sandown Park down in Victoria. You need to run around that 5-second mark for the first section to be leading your races, and there doesn't look to be long back straights like we're familiar with the Albion Park. So I think potentially those runners that can find the bunny and scoot around those tight turns might be pretty hard to run down. Albion Park, a bit similar to those larger tracks in Hobart, for example. Used to get run down a lot there, Shorty, so might be a little bit easier for myself trying to find leaders at Q2. So I'm excited for tonight. Bit wary tonight. There's a lot of short price favourites on the card, first time at the track. And, yeah, it's a difficult meeting, but definitely excited to watch it all unfold.
Absolutely, and it might be the points you raise are very valid points, and we took them on board across here locally, as you alluded to, when one of our tracks find themselves out of play for a significant period of time. You see big groups of dogs going to places where they're not familiar, and it can take just a little while to exactly sort out who is suited, who isn't suited, who handles the different circuit, and that'll be the case there on the Q2 Parkland circuit over the upcoming weeks. But we can certainly watch and learn, and if you can identify dogs that are suited early on, you can get a bit of a spoil over the initial stages. So we'll keep our eyes closely peeled, as will our man JC, to help us out in the upcoming weeks. All right, well, let's see if we can't find a winner or two. You've accordingly played it fairly cautious tonight, but you have got one best bet on the Q2 circuit tonight there at Parklands.
Yeah, I'm going to head to race 3, playing the 4 here, Elusive Hornet. I think She's a Ledette in box 3 will lead this race up quite comfortably. And the favourite here, Heroic Federer, having his first start over the 500 metres. He just tied up last week over the 484 at Casino. I don't think he's going to be able to lead this race as a 3 in the race. I think if Elusive Hornet can just lob in the third position, exiting the first turn, he's going to prove too strong for both of those runners in the run home. And just a few other runners I want to touch base on the night, Shorty, to give the listeners something to, I guess, watch and cheer. Race 4, number 8, McKeon. She's a bitch that's absolutely flying. She's won her last 5 starts. She took out a $50,000 race casino. I do want to take her on tonight. I don't think she'll find the lead as easily with the likes of Moet Magic in the race. So if you are dabbling race to race, I think she is a runner you can take on and maybe have a flutter with the one here, Zipping Delilah. And race 6, number 8, Sterling Brindle. I think he's come up much too short in early betting. He's still an odds-on favourite. He does get a long way back in his races. He'll most likely be last entering that winning post for the first time. And I'm unsure about his ability to chase. He's only won at Ipswich. He only won by a small margin. And last start, he only lost by a small margin, but I thought he was entitled to go past the leader. So I still got the question mark around Sterling Brindle. So those are 2 odds-on favourites that I'm looking to pot tonight. I can't exactly find a winner in that race, in either race, but I think they'll be a little bit vulnerable there as favourites.
All right, so watch and see there, but just be wary if you were looking to team up with the favourites in those particular races. But certainly Zipping Delilah is one we can have a little spec bet on there in race number 4 off the inside for the Prince Tommy Zavellis, around that $3, $10.50 the place in a field of 6. And you can guarantee that the Prince's dogs will have been well schooled and have had a good look at the circuit. He's a very professional operator. And he is one trainer that I'd be very surprised if his dogs weren't comfortable there, knowing how thorough he is with his operation. All right, so we've got race 3, number 4, Elusive Hornet as our key play tonight there on the Q2 at Parklands. What about down in Tassie this evening at Hobart?
Race 4, number 2, That's When. Pretty keen on this bitch tonight. I know she has a pretty splotchy record, 8 starts, only the 1 place in a date, but she meets a very, very average race here, poor field. The 9, box 3, Rogue Danger, gets into box 3, sorry. He does want to use the track, so I think she's got to get a lot of room to move. All you got to do is watch the Reds replays here, reintroduced. He might have a bit of earwax stuck in both of his ears because he fails to begin. I think That's When can get into a more positive spot than she has been finding in recent weeks. And you just have to go back over some of the names that she's been beaten by recently. On Holidays, Fuel on 4, Time's Flying, Rate of Knots, a lot of runners that I have tipped in the past down there. So I think this is a massive grade drop back to a maiden company, and I think $5.50 represents great value.
I like it. Race 4, number 2, That's When, and then we head to the next race.
Yeah, a little bit short here, this one. Number 1, Unleash the Diva, but she was extremely well supported first up from a 2-month break, and she was just unable to get past the leader mate there. She made a lot of ground up late in the piece, but she did get beat the best part of 5 lengths. She gets back to an inside box here, strips fitter for that run, vacant box to her outside. I think she's got to be extremely hard to beat. $1.50, obviously very skinny, but I'd be very shocked if she lost this race. You just have to go through some of her main dangers and betting the 4 here, Thirsk for Teddy Medhurst, 13 start maiden, and the 8 Lights. 28 starts for the track, Shorty, yet to figure on the top of the podium. So I think that pretty much tells you all you need to know for race 5 at Hobart tonight.
Alrighty, so we team up with the red runner there, Unleash the Diva, to get the job done for Ingrid Watkins. Let's hope it cashes in on the good draw tonight. So 4-2-5-1 there in Hobart, and Q2 on the Parklands. Race 3, number 4, Elusive Hornet. Race 4, number 1, Zipping Delilah is a watch. Beautifully done, JC. For your legion of fans tuned into the program, what's the best way to keep up with all of your handiwork?
Just over on X Shorty, Campbell Jason. I'll be dropping my previews for Hobart, and got to say Albion Park, but it's the Q2 Parklands. You've got to get used to that one moving forward.
Yeah, you'll do some of your best work in that parkland environment over the years. I'll pack the picnic and join you in the Parklands next week, JC. Great catching up.
Thank you very much, Shorty. Have a good afternoon.
There we have it. Jason Campbell with us, having a look at Hobart as well as the Q2 Parklands program there for tonight. Are you tuned in to Great Greys here on TAB Radio? It's 10:15. David Shortte with you. Just 4 minutes away from the first of the day here at Wyong. We'll have a quick look at that market. Twinkling Star at $1.75. A Celtic Sin is a $4.40 chance. Twinkling Star's in from 185, so popular at the shorter odds. Likewise, a Celtic Sin, $6.50 into $4.40. Satin Sparkles $4.60 to $5. Our Jewel $4.60 to $8.50 has been a significant drifter. From there, Dodo Loves Grey 16 to 23, Exploding World 16 to 23, Ready Made Air 26 out to 41, Zamazing 51 out to 81, and Juliet's Balconies $101. The top two in betting is where all the action is. Twinkling Star $1.85 into $1.75, and Celtic Sin $6.50 into $4.40. Matty, how are we looking? We got our man Sean Matheson ready to rock.
Yep, he's there.
Excellent. Well, let's get straight to him. Sean Matheson, very much appreciate you jumping up the batting order for us today with the train over there in Bali. Welcome. How do we find you on this Thursday?
Oh yeah, terrific, David. Yeah, no, don't mind getting a bit higher up in the order, so no problems there. So yeah, great to be on the show today, and yeah, really looking forward again to some terrific racing in South Australia, highlighted with our 12-event program tonight, but also on Sunday night we'll have our straight track championship final at Murray Bridge, which we race 2 on the program. So the first 2 races on Sunday night at Murray Bridge will be on the straight track, and then everything else on the one turn. So yeah, looking forward to what that night brings, but obviously we'd hopefully find a few winners tonight first of all.
Absolutely. Let's see if we can't build a bit of a bank for the punters for a busy weekend of chasing upcoming. Take us through your key plays tonight there at Angle Park.
Okay, so most of my plays will end up being a bit later in the night. So the first of them comes up in race 8. It's number 1, Dash of Blue for Richard Pearce. Dash of Blue was a really good run last start, running third over the 5.95, beaten less than a length behind Black Chip, who's been going really good. That was on the back of a third over 5.30 and a nice short course win. He's now 4.5. He's getting somewhat back to his best form, and last start was a real indicator of that. The thing for this dog, David, he's drawn box 1 tonight. He's won 9 of 11 from the red. He just loves the inside draw. He's got it tonight over the 5.95. He's quoted at $5. I reckon that's a terrific bet for him, and he looks to be close to his best, so I expect a really strong run for him tonight.
Compelling stats for the old stage at Dash of Blue, race 8, number 1, at a nice each way quote too there in race number 8, the first of the specials tonight for Sean. On to the next of them.
The next of them is in the next race, and it's race 9, and it's number 2, Ernie the Brute for David Green, who's made the long journey up from Mount Gambier to Angle Park, and they were here last week, and Ernie the Brute was quite a nice run in running third last week. At big odds last week, he's $6.50 tonight, which is a nice price for him. He's more of a middle distance dog, and this race, I think, David, has a lot of speed in it, but not everything can get the 5.30 metre journey. There's certainly dogs that's going to be well in front of Ernie the Brute mid-race, but I don't know if they can run out a strong 5.30, so I expect him to, come out in the second part of the field. It's only a small field, though, 6-dog race. Expect him to charge home, and at the 6.50, look for him late, and hopefully he gets a little bit of luck and get over the top of him.
All right, so Ernie to swamp them over the concluding stages, race 9, number 2, and the third play tonight at Angle Park.
Third of the plays comes up in the last race, and it's race 12, number 7, Hometown for Michael Taylor. Is the favourite for this race around that $2.60 mark, and that's on the back of a very nice win last week where he drew the red, pushed forward hard, was able to take over into the back straight, 30.72 win, won by over a length in what is probably a slightly stronger race than what he meets here tonight. Now, it certainly goes to a wider draw. Showed enough speed last week to lead, and I think he can show that again from a wide draw. Expect him to go forward and hopefully lead and be really hard to catch.
All righty, so the dog that was good for us last week, Hometown, race 8, number 1, Dash of Blue, race 9, number 2, Ernie the Brute, both at good odds, and then race 12, number 7, Hometown to butter up and get the job done for us once again there this evening. They are still moving up the straight here towards the barriers for race number 1 at Wyong, so get your bets on there, punters, if you're looking to get involved. Twinkling Star, that short price favourite. And, of course, on that second line there, Satin Sparkle will head to Wyong shortly once they get into those barriers. But that gives us a bit of time to get through some tips for Gawler Friday, Angle Park Saturday and Murray Bridge Sunday.
Okay, so tomorrow at Gawler, David, I like race 3, number 2, Midnight Sun for Rob Harness. Steps back to the 400-metre race. Has been running around at Angle Park on a Thursday night. Ran second in free-for-all company behind Daddy's Girl last week. This dog has very, very good high speed and an inside draw suit, so I expect him to lead and win there at Gawler tomorrow. Saturday morning is the time-graded meeting. I like race 4, number 1, Memoirs of Rose. One last start when was able to push forward and lead. Off an inside draw in what is a very even field. I expect her to lead again. Be very hard to catch on Saturday morning. And then, as I mentioned, David, just quickly, hopefully before the race, Sunday night, highlighted by our straight track final, which is race 2 on Sunday night at Murray Bridge. And I like number 5, Imperial Sash, for Cam Forshaw to get the job done. Very impressive in winning his heat on Tuesday, 1873, very quick early. Showed his form behind Morton, Uncle Tommy's Infidel Trace, where he was just faultless from the boxes. 5:20 at Angle Park, first splits very quick. Did exactly the same thing at Murray Bridge down the street.
With Tab Touch.
You're listening to Great Greys on Tab Radio.
Where we're having a chat with Sean Matheson, looking at all things South Australian chasing. Before we went to Wyong there, we're having a look at Murray Bridge on Sunday, where Sean was telling us he liked the prospects of race 2, number 5, Imperial Sash. Sorry to have to chop you off there, Sean.
Oh, no problems, David. I didn't realise I was running right into that race, so no worries at all. But, as mentioned, Imperial Sash, very impressive in the heats. No real... On his inside, there's no speed on his inside. He should be able to get a clear run down the straight track. So it looks really, really hard to beat. He's got really good form and going good for Cam Forshaw.
Excellent. So race 2, number 5, to round things out, Murray Bridge on Sunday. That's Angle Park, race 8, number 1, race 9, number 2, race 12, number 7. Gawler on Friday, race 3, number 2, Midnight Sun. Angle Park, the time-graded meeting, Saturday morning, race 4, number 1, Memoirs of Rose. Then Murray Bridge Sunday, race 2, number 5, Imperial Sash. Beautifully done. Appreciate your time as always, Sean. Have a wonderful weekend upcoming and already looking forward to our chat next week.
All right, David. Thanks. We'll talk then.
Good man. There we have it. Sean Matheson with us this morning here on Great Greys. They're moving in quite nicely here for race number 1 of the day at Mackay over the 1,300 metres. Quickly take you through the market before they get going there at Mackay. When we return, we'll be catching up with the Hall of Famer Neil Brown. Co-favourites here, both at 2.35 on the fixed odds with Tab Touch. Remlap Carver, number 2, has been $1.85 out to 2.35. Glad Rag Doll, number 6, has been 2.70 into 2.35. Let's make a move on to the big program tonight at Sandown. And Neil Brown, the Hall of Fame, has been good enough to share some time with us on this Thursday morning here on Great Greys prior to having a little bit of a well-earned vacation. Let's bring him in. Hello to you, Neil. Welcome to Great Greys. How do we find you today?
Good morning, David. I'm well and really looking forward to the card at Sandown Park tonight with some of the top-class greyhounds racing around the country at Sandown tonight in both our Group 1's the Sapphire Crown and, of course, the Harrison Dawson. So time-honoured Group 1 events, and we've got 4 heats of each, David. So a really good card, isn't it?
That is absolutely magnificent. Got a really nice staying race thrown into the mix as well there over the 715 metres, but 4 heats of the Sapphire Crown and then into the Harrison Dawson. Always been a race for some of the stars of the sport in years gone by, and once again has drawn together some phenomenal talent. It's going to be a wonderful evening of chasing at Sandown. All right, Neil, this is where we lean on you for a bit of assistance. The early quaddie for this evening, and there's a couple of scratchings. Take out the 6 and 9 here out of the first. But this is over the 515 metres, a mixed grade 6 and 7. Take us through your thoughts for the early quad.
Yeah, favourites off the red, and Champlain, he looks the one to beat. He races, certainly races well from the inside. He's a 29.34 winner here. I think he's the greyhound to beat. Led all the way from on the 24th, and he's pretty short though, David, so he's expected to win. I'm going to take 3 and 5 as well in that first leg of the early quad race number 1. Race number 2, we've got the Sapphire Crown Heat 1 here over the 5:15. Thought we'd try and find it in 3. I've gone 7, 8 and 6. It's a pretty even race. I've gone July She Lied. 3 and 2 from 7 here. Good beginner. I think is well suited by being back in an all-bitches race. 29.44 winner here. I've got the 7 on top to beat Don Gully, Jesse, and the 6 Born Model. Race number 3, fairly even race here. Heat 2 of the Sapphire Crown. I made it 1, 4 and 5. Do like the draw from Ashton Gonzo. 1, 4 free falls from box 1. 29.36 winner here on the track. She goes okay. 4 and 3 from 9 here, and a good early split of 5.04 on one occasion. So I think is the one to beat, but certainly chances to 4 and 5. Race number 4, good race here. Heat number 3 of the Sapphire Crown. Going to try and find this in 3. I've gone 7, 4 and 1. I've got Gambella. Draws a bit of a worry here, but has some early speed and a super record on the track. 5 and 3 from 9. Best of the night, Meadows winner last start. So I think the one to beat. A lot of ability from the Anthony Azzopardi kennel, but certainly chances to reality best on the red as well. Race 5, first leg of the quaddy, Heat 4 of the Sapphire Crown. What a clash here. I'm only going to take the 2, but you might like to take the 8 for the insurance. The 2 standouts, of course, are Lakeview Emily, box 1 track specialist, 10 and 5 from 21. She's broken 29 seconds, 28.94. Very consistent at the top level. And again, in an all bitches against her own sex tonight, I think she's the one to beat from that box 1. But we can't deny this up-and-coming superstar dashing sleigh. Won very, very impressively the launching pad. It's only had the 10 starts, and she's run some time, 28.95 around here. Couldn't be more impressive, just coming off the 4 tonight. I think the winner comes from those 2. The others seem to be a little outclassed by them, but I'm going to throw, if you can get wider, Utrillo Bale has got some sort of claims in the race from drawing wide on the track in the 8. But a real good clash between the launching pad winner and Lakeview Emily, who's been at the top level for a long time. We're going to race number 6. Second leg of the main quad here, wide open race. There's plenty of chances, might even miss it. 2, 4, 6 and 7. I'm going to take 4 of them. I've got Scalacci on top. It's a nice draw. He hasn't done much wrong, this fellow. He's always racing against the top-class greyhounds. His form, he's won 4 here in scorching time early, 4.98 one night. I've got him on top. Certainly the 4, Paul Oswald, can begin. Impressive last week, leading all the way in 29.12. The 6, Wyong Dallas, big motor. No luck in the launching pad final. Good beginner. And I think the 7's got a chance as well. Excavation, resuming, stack of ability, 29.06 winner here on the track. So really tough second leg, 2, 4, 6 and 7 for me. A good race, race 7, is the Heat 2 of the Harrison Dawson. And I've got taking 1, 7 and 2 here. Morton, he's very well boxed in 1. He races well on the track. He's 4 and 3 from 10. He's won almost $700,000. He's a real top-class performer. Has performed all over the country at the top level, and he looks hard to beat from box number 1. Vincent Barb really runs a bad race. He's always thereabouts. He loves St. Anne. He's had 8 wins on the track. He needs a little bit of luck in running, but he does seem to make his luck. And he's got to be a real contender in this race tonight. And the 2, Daintree Shady, a smart South Aussie, drawn okay, reliable beginner, and is quite a quick dog. So 1, 7 and 2 will take. Coming home to round the quaddy off in race number 8, I'm taking 4, 7 1. Absolutely airborne, Deadly Avenger. He's coming off a Perth Cup and Sandgroper double. He's racing well. He's beginning particularly well. I think he's the one to beat, even from box number 4. I'm throwing in the Bagman. He's a track specialist, 7 and 11 from 25 on the track. No luck last up when he was travelling into the race and he got poleaxed. He needs a little bit of luck, but I think he can run a forward race. He's got that really red-hot time on the track. And I think the Red's a chance. Poor Vortex, well drawn. 2 and 2 when he's drawn, 2 from 2 when he's drawn box 1. And he's a real handy type. So good final leg of the quaddie, 4, 7 and 1. The last 2 of the Harrison Dawson, I think the 7's the one to beat, Flying Zulu, but certainly Colac Kid well in that race as well. Our best bet, David, can we keep it going? I'm wondering if the roll can keep on. I'm going race number 11, number 4, Always the Sun. It's about 210, 220. A really good run last week behind Irish Bill. Does come out of a box. And I think I've made it my best, but not overly enthused, Dave. So race 11, number 4, Always the Sun, our best tonight at Sandown Park. So good luck and good punting on what's an outstanding card. And I'm having 3 weeks off, leaving you in the capable hands of Ethan Christian for 3 weeks. I don't know how my wife got me overseas to miss 3 Group 1s, David, but she's able to do it next weekend, the Sandown Cup. But I'll be keeping a close eye on things from a long way away.
Indeed. And, well, I'll tell you what, she's done very well, Neil, because you're a hard man to get away when things are going well from a greyhound racing perspective and you've got dogs in big series and the like. But it's a time of your life to enjoy. Get away and make the most of your travels. We wish you all the very best. We'll miss you for a few weeks, but as you've touched on, you've got the best stunt double in the caper in Ethan Christian, who'll be with us over the next 3 weeks. Safe travels to you, Brownie. Thanks as always for your time and look forward to having a chat with you again in about a month's time. Have the best holiday.
Will do. Thanks, David. Look forward to talking to you in June. Thanks, mate.
There we have it. Neil Brown, the Hall of Famer, with us here this morning on A Great Greys.
You're listening to Great Greys on Tab Radio.
Where it's now 18 minutes away from 11 o'clock and it's time to talk New South Wales greyhound racing with the man in the know, Simon Orchard. Welcome to you, Simon. How are you today?
Yeah, g'day Shorty, g'day listeners. Mate, I'm flying high after a big month. It feels like we haven't rested. The egg, the 7:15, and we finally take a breath. And what do you know? The Brother Fox is on our doorstep and we love it, mate, because our good greyhounds are heading out to the Central West for time-honoured historic race. The Bill and Peg Miller Memorial's also on the same day. So plenty happening, mate, here in New South Wales.
It seems we talk about racing being 52 weeks of the year, but the way the calendar is across there in New South Wales, people like yourself barely have an opportunity to have a break because it seems like every time we speak from week to week somewhere in New South Wales, there's a big money series.
There is, mate. I look ahead. I guess the country takes over to an extent over the next couple of months. We've got the big race at Dubbo, then we've got the Beef Week Cup, which is one that I'd love to get to up in Casino. The Broken Hill Cup is at the start of June. The Chief Havoc Cup's at Gunnedah, and then the Thunderbolt, mate, which hasn't been forgotten, but it's about now you start seeing these short course superstars emerging around some of the short distances around New South Wales, aiming up for that Thunderbolt title at Grafton each and every year, which is one of the best nights on track. I've been there, I think, every year that it's been run, so that's one that I've certainly got in the calendar. June 21, the Thunderbolt final at Grafton this year.
That's excellent. And what I love too is that there's all styles of greyhounds that are catered for. So we've got obviously the Thunderbolt for some of the shorter style dogs, but that's fresh off a 7:15 where the dogs that get over the longer trips are looked after. There's plenty of big sprint races in town for an in-between distance. So just love the fact that regardless of what your sweet spot is from a distance range, there's great opportunities to go out there and strut your stuff at the top level.
Yeah, you're spot on. And that's the beauty of, I guess, the packed feature calendar. There is something for everyone. We've obviously been through the middle distance and the staying campaign with the 7:15 and the Country Classic the last month or so. We had the Egg. We saw Power and Glory finally get that monkey off the back for Kenny Burnett and win the big race there. And now a lot of our good chasers, I guess, over the sprint distance, Shorty, either eyeing Melbourne or potentially heading north to the warmer weather where a bunch of our trainers have set up these little satellite kennels, either on the border or just in New South Wales or just over the border. And they can tackle the riches on offer through the Queensland Carnival, which is an exciting period of the year because we've also got the State of Origin, which I know the AFL are trying to drum up interest now. The NRL State of Origin, mate, is one of the best sporting events, I reckon, in the world. And the Greyhound edition, not quite at the same status, but it's one that we look forward to each and every year, especially after another Queenslander took home the 7-15. So we're looking forward to that clash as well.
Yeah, a chance for a bit of redemption for the Blues chasers. Let's get your thoughts for where we should be having a punt over the next 72 hours or so, a handball across, and you can take us around the grounds.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Let's start at Wenty tonight. 10-race card. I've got back-to-back races here. Race 5, number 1, Good Odds Rocky. Now, this dog, obviously, a Frankie Hurst-trained animal. 9 starts, 5 wins. He won the big Robert Smith Memorial Maiden earlier on this year. Hasn't been as productive since. He's had 3 wins in 6 starts since that big maiden, 7 starts, I should say, in that big maiden win. But I really like the performance at Richmond last time out. 29-8 there. He gets box 1. He's a really good beginner, and he's a promising dog. So Good Odds Rocky, who I've been told not quite as good as Good Odds Cobber, but certainly a dog to watch. So 5-1 Good Odds Rocky. And then again at Wenty Park tonight, I'm taking on, I want Cumbria Benny, a dog who should be in everyone's black book. He's taking on Richard Dwayne, who's about $1.80 favourite from box 1 for Mark Gatt, who deserves to be favourite. But Cumbria Benny, Shorty, is a dog for Steve Fitch. 8 starts, 4 wins. He ran in the Nowra Puppy Classic final. He's only a young dog. He doesn't turn 2 until July, but already he has produced some flying times on the South Coast. So you can get behind race 5, number 1, Good Odds Rocky, and race 6, number 8, Cumbria Benny. Best bets on the card tonight at Wenty Park. And then we might just have a quick look at the Brother Fox, mate, if we've got some time. Saturday night out there at Dubbo. I'll tell you what, you have a look at race 8. You've got Zipping Christoph, $2 favourite. You've got Laura Keeping, the Futurity winner, $6.50. Gets Laid Early, $4. Zigzag Man, $8. It's a hell of a field. I really like Zipping Christoph. Spoke to J.R. Patea during the week. He said Laura Keeping not quite going as well as she was before the Futurity. Zigzag Man's got a ton of potential, but he always finds trouble, and Gets Laid Early will be a wide runner. So Zipping Christoph off the 1, 8-1 Zipping Christoph. Best bet on the card comes Saturday night. And if you want to back it up with another run, race 9, number 7, Black Myth Wave. I mentioned that now at Puppy Classic. Well, this dog was taking a lot of ground off Sooty Keeping late for Vic Sultan. I think he's an emerging star. Race 9, number 7, Black Myth Wave. They're 2 good bets Saturday night out there at Dubbo, mate. It's
a mouthful, Black Myth Wave.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to be a race caller come Saturday night, but Black Myth Wave, another one that rolls off the Sultana production line. I haven't seen any odds yet for Wenty Saturday night as well, mate, but if you want to have a play around a dog named Hamaso, race 4, number 7, Hamaso for Billy Dance, named after the Dolphins flyer in the NRL. Ran at Gosford in the Gardens the last week and dreadfully unlucky. Before that, the form was looking really good. So I think Hamaso, race 4, number 7, hopefully you can get a little bit of a price about it at Wenty Park Saturday night. Excellent. And speaking of State of Origin and, of course, the success in the world of league, very exciting news breaking earlier this week that WA will have our own team in the NRL with the Bears coming into play in the next couple of years. So a lot of excitement building over here with West Aussie side there coming up in the NRL. Yeah, you're spot on, mate. I still remember watching many of the North Sydney Bears growing up. Greg Florimo, Gary Larson, Matt Sears. These are some of my, I'm not going to say footy heroes, but players that I always watched every Sunday Arvo run around in the famous red, black and white. And now it looks like WA are going to take them over. So there'll be plenty of people here, I guess, bemoaning the fact that North Sydney couldn't get a team. But, mate, I'm glad to see it. Every time a game goes over there, you sell it out. I lived in Perth for 10 years. I went to as many games as the NRL brought over. And I think you'll just lap it up. So good on you. Excellent work. Simon, as always, really appreciate your time here on Great Greys. Have a wonderful weekend, mate. Cheers, mate. Hooroo. There we have it. Simon Orchard rounding out the program for today. As we touched on, the Shane train in transit heading across to Bali as we speak. But he has left us with his 3 key plays. He had a hot run too. I think 7 of his last 9 tips on the Tab Touch blog have arrived. So the man with a hot hand, he's covered his expenses for his trip away, and he's come up with 3 plays for us tonight at Mandurah. The first of them, race 5, number 2, Aston Maddox. Very keen on the prospects here from box number 2, so that's 2. His other numbers in the race are 8, 3, 4, so 2, 8, 3, 4 with Aston Maddox on top. Race 8, number 1, Key Moment is his best bet on the program. Wonderfully
Versatile dog that just keeps fronting up week in, week out over these shorter trips and delivering. So 1 on top from 8, 3 and 2. And his final play comes up in race 12 tonight, drawn out there in box number 8, Maidstone Dip, 8 on top from 5, 6 and 1. So the 3 best for Shane tonight, race 5, number 2, Aston Maddox, race 8, number 1, Key Moment, and race 12, number 8, Maidstone Dip. And that is us done and dusted on this Thursday morning with Great Greys. I'll be back on air tomorrow morning with Digby and Tim around about 6:35. Going through all of the key markets and specials for the weekend of racing upcoming. And then between 9 and 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, teaming up with Jesse Earnshaw and Peter O'Neill for Chasing Winners from 9 a.m. right here on TAB Radio. Soph, I'll throw back to your good self. I'll catch up with you over the weekend, of course, on Sunday morning for the aftermath. Until then, wishing you many winners, and to all of our listeners, have a wonderful Thursday. Thanks for your company.